Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? Well, the answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. When I started using Anchor to do my podcast, it was so extremely easy that I haven't even bothered to look for another app to use. I love this app. It's the only one I deal with, the only one I even recommend, period. I recommend you get on there ASAP. If you want to start a podcast, this is definitely the place to go. It's easy. You can drive around and record. You can sit in your basement and record. You can do it anywhere. It's fantastic. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start, anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Adam Rich from the Really Rich Podcast, and today I want to talk to you about trolls, online trolls, haters, all the people that will, if you put anything out there, even, you know what, it doesn't even have to be online. Let's boil this down. Think about this logically. Whenever you deal with anybody who only knows so much about you, very little bit, or maybe some minor details, even somebody that, may know you for a long time but doesn't really know a whole lot about you, anytime you hear somebody attack you or your character, your personality, your intelligence, any of these things, whenever you hear that, the easiest, most common thing to do is to shut down, get defensive, maybe be discouraged in what you're saying or doing because of the criticism that comes with it. But the problem is, if you genuinely like doing what you're doing or like saying what you're saying, whatever it is that you're trying to attempt to do that somebody's criticizing, if you enjoy what it is that you're doing, you have got to let their shit go. If they're talking bad about you, saying you're stupid, you're ugly, you're dumb, if you're putting out content on YouTube or something, and somebody goes on to watches your video, consumes your content, and then leaves a shitty remark to you, guys, this is very damaging to that person, not to you. The only time it's damaging to you is if you listen. And the reality is, guys, only you know all about you. That's it. Nobody on the face of the planet, not even your own mother, not your siblings, not your spouse, your kids, nobody in the entire world knows you the way you do. So here's the reality. If somebody is dogging anything that you do, if you say you like to put out content online on any social media platform that's helpful to others, maybe you're putting out cooking tutorials, maybe you want to be a chef, or maybe you are a chef and you thought that maybe you should make a TikTok account or a YouTube channel or Instagram page where all you want to do is make a bunch of food, show different tricks and different strategies, different ingredients, different recipes. Yeah, it's in the science lab too. But no, if you're doing any of these things and you genuinely are doing it because you like what you're doing, you think that you're helping people, you're putting out content that people can consume and maybe learn from, or maybe get some tricks to help them. If you like that, then no matter what anybody says, do not stop. You're going to have people. Here's the thing, dude. Some people are just upset in life. They're just miserable people. And as much as I'd like to help them and get them to stop being miserable, you can't do that with everybody. Now, the whole reason I started doing this podcast was to help people like that, to help people that are miserable or negative or angry or have low self-confidence or self-esteem. I want to help those people. But guys, you're not going to please everybody. Sometimes you could have all the best intentions, but maybe your method isn't something that they like. Even if you have Think about this. Even if you had millions of followers, there's still billions that ain't following you. There's billions that don't care. And it's not a bad thing, guys. Like, if you look back throughout time, nobody, no matter how good they were or how loved they were, Michael Jordan, for instance, right? When Michael Jordan played basketball, he was the best. Most people loved him. Most people wanted to see him play. Most people admired him and thought his talent, the old commercials, I want to be like Mike. But do you think that everyone in the world liked him? No. I mean, I know several people that I grew up with that hated him because we were Detroit Pistons fans. And once the Bulls overcame the Pistons and knocked them out of the playoffs, Detroit fans weren't very happy with Michael Jordan anymore. And they hated him. He basically kind of ended the dynasty of not even the dynasty, really. It was only like 2 or 3 years that they were that good. But the point is, not everybody, no matter how good you are or how loved you are, not everybody's going to love you. And so you have to understand that. You have to let go of the people. If there's people that are insulting you or dogging you or attacking you, look, if you guys follow my social medias, you'll see sometimes I battle with them. But I only do that when I'm in the mood for it. And I don't waste every day. I don't comment to every hater. You know how many comments I get that are just insulting and negative and bad and miserable? And I've even told them, listen, I've even made videos about trolls and attacking what they're doing. I've basically insulted the insulters to prove the point that what you're doing, you don't even know me and you're sitting there throwing insults. That's sad. That's a sad move. Not for me. I'm fine. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be fine. But it's sad to me to see that somebody is so miserable that they are willing to just, for no good reason whatsoever, try to bring somebody else that's on a high, in a good place, and a positive person, an optimist person. They love to try to bring those people down. I know so many people that are like, oh, I hate this person because they're always so happy. What a fucking weird thing to say. Like, you hate somebody because they're always happy? Guys, why don't you try to be just as happy? That's the thing. Like, why on earth? Like, we all strive to be happy. Why would you knock somebody for doing it? See, and it's pure jealousy is what it boils down to. If nobody hates somebody because they're always happy. You're jealous of that person because they're always happy. And you're not. And that's the thing is, like, nobody is always happy. Trust me, even those people that are always smiling, always in a great mood, always having a wonderful time, even they have shit happen to them. It's part of life. You're not going to avoid every negative thing forever. The thing, though, that you can do is when you see anything happen, negative, positive, whatever, look for the positives in it. No matter how bad or ugly or vicious, the day might be going for you, you always have to try to find the positives because they're there, guys. It's just, I mean, listen, it's hard to explain each and every situation. I would have to hear your situation so I could show you, but I don't think that there's a single thing on earth that happens that's only negative. And I know, and people will say, what about losing a loved one? I've heard this many times. That's obviously never fun. It's never a good time. It never makes anybody happy if you lose a loved one. If you lose somebody you hate, maybe you get happy. I'm not saying I do, but I mean, I understand why some people do. But the point is, if you lose somebody that you love, that is not necessarily... It's not only bad is what I'm saying. Of course it's bad. It's definitely bad to lose a loved one. So I don't want you to get it twisted. I don't want you being like, oh, this guy's fucking nuts because he thinks it's a great thing to lose loved ones. No, I don't. I don't think it's a good thing to lose loved ones. But what I'm saying is when that happens, if that happens, it's our job to try to search deep within us to remember the good that person brought our life and many others. It's not positive that you lose the person. What's positive is that you reminisce about the great things that your life has gained because of that person. It's good to reminisce on those things. It's good to remember and recall the wonderful things. Maybe you've learned lessons that, maybe they're on the back burner. Maybe they were so long ago you don't really think about them anymore and you don't care about them anymore or anything. But sometimes when we lose a loved one, you start reminiscing on like, oh, I remember this time that I had with them and this time that I had with them. And then you start remembering good moments and good memories with that person. And that part of it feels good. Obviously, losing them does not feel good. But the point that I'm getting at is you can either look at it with only the lens of negativity and say, this is awful, I lost somebody I care about, and you can think that, or you can only look at that aspect, but you would be doing yourself a disservice by at least not remembering all the great that they brought your life. And so the point that I wanted to make with all this is that every time you get trolls or people like haters online that are just dogging you, you have to understand that every time you want to do what you want, or you take a stand for something, or you believe in something and you announce that out loud, you're going to get criticism. You're going to get backlash. You have to welcome that regardless how good or bad it sounds. It's not a good thing. It's not actually even good for you mentally to only take in the praise but ignore the negative. You shouldn't be taking in any of it. I mean, you should acknowledge it. You should say thank you when people are nice. And if people are mean, just keep scrolling. Or if you feel like engaging with them, go ahead. But I'm just saying, don't let it consume your mind. The only reason why I can like deal with haters and trolls and not lose anything, or not like put me in a bad place really, is because I have to value and respect your opinion of me in order for it to matter. And if you don't know me and I don't know you, and you just spout off stuff like, oh, you're stupid, I can't believe you think this, or I can't believe you believe in this, you're an idiot, or you're ugly, or you can't read good, or whatever, anything that you hear from these people, they don't even know you. So who cares what they say? Like, I've actually had people on social media where I have explained something every way, shape, and form I could, and it still went right over their head, and then they called me an idiot. Like, I mean, at that point, are you really going to beat yourself up over an idiot calling you an idiot? Like, it's just not worth it. I remember, my dad taught me when I was younger, you cannot win an argument with an idiot. They just drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. It's one of my favorites. It's my absolute favorite because it is so true. It is so true. It's a waste of your time. Now, here's the thing. In I don't want to say my line of work, but like in what I try to do with the podcast, what I try to do on social media, what I try to do in general with helping people, I understand that there's going to be backlash. I understand that there's going to be people that don't agree. There's going to be negative people that are listening to this right now that are already checked out, probably haven't even made it to this point, because they hate the thought of me preaching positivity. Me preaching. There's trolls on here right now that have already checked out because they don't want to hear about how bad they sound or look. And it's true, though. Any decent human being, any happy, let me put it this way. I don't know a single happy person that consumes negative content and then goes onto the post and then just shits on that person. I don't know any happy person that does that. Any confident, happy, decent human being does not do these things. Only the miserable troll haters do this stuff. So let them. That's what they're there for. Half the time, as a matter of fact, if for anyone that follows my TikTok or anything, I've almost tripled now it's not a lot, I'm still only in the 240s or whatever, but I've almost tripled my amount of followers, and 90% of them are haters. And that's not usually typical. That's not usually how social media goes, but that is that's the line of work that I'm in. The thing that I'm trying to prove, or the thing that I try to show or argue on there is, it's something that's going to draw a lot of criticism, and that's fine because I don't mind that. But not everyone is built that way. Not everyone has had, their parents telling them since birth that they can be confident, that they can have self-esteem, that they don't need to listen to other people, that you are. And see, here's part of it. A part of it for me is that I've always believed in God. Now, I'm not saying that God is the reason that I think he is, but I'm just saying, even if you're an atheist, I'm not trying to preach God to you right now. I'm not trying to push God on you. So don't take it that way. But what I'm saying is it's easy for me as a Christian believing in God to have confidence, because the confidence doesn't come from me, myself. See, it's hard to have confidence in yourself when you've watched yourself fail so much. But for me, the reason why I have, I mean, I don't want to say endless confidence. Obviously, anything can happen at any time. But the point is, the reason why my self-esteem is so high and why I do have such confidence, not arrogance. I don't think I'm better than anyone. I just believe wholeheartedly that God has my back. And when you have the creator of the universe on your side, why would you not be confident? If he can create everything, create me, the universe, everything, why wouldn't you have confidence that he's got your back if you have a relationship with him? Now, I know a lot of you out there that aren't Christians, they're atheists in general, don't believe in any God. There's a lot of you that are like, well, I don't believe in God, so that's not going to work for me. And that's okay. If you don't believe in God, you don't have to use that. What I'm saying is my belief in God has allowed me to do that, to be that confident, have that kind of confidence in life every day, and not listen to other people. Because I look at it like this. If God is real, if he's out there and he created the universe, created everything, he created me, if the Bible is true and God creates only masterpieces, he does not make mistakes, then why on earth should I look at myself like one? And you shouldn't either. Even if you don't believe in God. The fact that the Bible tells you if there is a God, he doesn't make mistakes. If you can't prove that there's no God, which none of us could prove that there isn't, maybe there is a God. And if it's possible that there's a God, and he only makes masterpieces, then that means you are too, even if you're an atheist. Even if you're an atheist, even if you're an atheist, you still were made perfectly. With all what you might consider flaws, you may have illnesses, you may be suffering from something, mental issues, deformities, it could be a number of things, right? But the reality is, every single person is made you look and act and are made a certain way, and all of it is meant for your good. So if you look at yourself as a masterpiece, which you should, even if you don't believe in God, you should still look at yourself as a masterpiece. Because think about this. Picasso, right? If you look at any of his paintings, they look all jacked up, the weird figures and all that. Those are considered masterpieces. They look all jacked up. So the point is, even if you mentally, physically, spiritually, if you're jacked up, you could still be a masterpiece. It's just true, guys. You should be looking at your unique self as that's your superpower. If you think about it, like, I'm a big comic book fan, so this comes this idea comes natural to me just because of my love for comics. If you understand comics, you know this. All the superheroes have unique powers. They have unique gifts, right? They're not all unique, every single aspect of them. There's several that have blue eyes, several have brown eyes, but every single superpower or superhero has a unique set of skills, and that is what makes them powerful. And that's no different for you. It doesn't just apply to superheroes. You have your own, everything about you is unique. Everything about you is like your whole combination. I mean, not every little thing about every tiny detail is unique. I'm saying everything that makes you makes you unique. Your biggest superpower in the world is your uniqueness. And when you figure that out and you learn how to use what you have, you become unstoppable. And that's what I'm trying to push people more towards. Not listening to trolls, not listening to haters, not listening to all the negative crap that comes out of people's mouths to try to make you feel less than. You need to overcome all that. You need to ignore all that nonsense, because ultimately they don't really know you. Even your best friends don't really know you. Not everything. I guarantee there's something you keep from your best friends or from your family. The thing about it is this can allow you to have an unlimited amount of confidence. Your uniqueness and the fact that nobody on earth really knows you fully allows you to be unstoppable. You don't have to listen to negative nonsense. If you have, I don't know, a missing tooth, and people online are constantly pointing out your missing tooth, you can use that as part of your uniqueness. That can be something that adds uniqueness to you, your channel, your following, your decision-making, just you in general. It makes you you. Now, I'm not saying, like, I'll give you a good example. Michael Strahan was a football player, played for the New York Giants, won at least one Super Bowl. I don't remember if he was a part of the second one or not. But anyway, he went to the Super Bowl. The guy has, money. He was a good player. He's really nice, decent looking guy and all that. But he's got a gap between his two front teeth, his two big top front teeth. He's got a big, huge gap. And now many people have talked to him about that. I'm sure he's well aware of this gap. But he had the option. He had more than enough money, and he has the option to fix his teeth and close up the gap. However, everyone in the league knew him for that gap. Everyone on TV knew him for that gap. And he could have easily been, I'm sure he's been made fun of most of his life for the gap that he had in his teeth. I know it. I got big front teeth. There's no gap there, but they're big. They look like chipmunk teeth. I've been made fun of for that 1,000 times at least. I don't care though. That's part of what makes me me, looking like a chipmunk. You have to own it, guys. Now, nobody on the face of the planet is perfect. We all have flaws. However, when you can accept your flaws and use that uniqueness about yourself to become a superpower, you become invincible and nobody can stop you. So I'm just trying to help you get that in your head because it's the truth, guys. There's a guy on, I don't know if any of you watch MTV The Challenge, right? And it's, as a 36-year-old man, I'm not really happy or proud admitting that I watched that, but it is really effing good. It's really good. And there's a guy on the show who is a complete dick all the time named Jordan, but he is phenomenal at this game, at the challenge. And it's funny because Jordan it's not funny that he's missing a hand, but I think he was born like part of his hand is missing. And so that's not exactly a strength of his. However, this guy that has one hand and part of a second one is one of the baddest mother effers on the whole show. He's one of the best guys on the show, and he's got that going against him. Like almost every challenge involves you needing to use your hands or like using strength to grab and pull something. As a matter of fact, he had to do he beat a guy that was bigger than him, stronger than him at a tug of war battle, and the he's missing a hand, and he won. Like, guys, just because you have a flaw, maybe you're self-conscious about a certain thing about you. Maybe you have big teeth like me. Maybe you have big ears like me. Maybe you have big nipples like me. No, I don't know. But they're not that big. But I will say they're bigger than they probably should be on my size. But anyway, that being said, guys, ignore that last part. Maybe I'll edit that out. But guys, your uniqueness is what makes you you. It's what gives you your advantage. See, what I think you should do is find out what it is about you that makes you unique, and then get into the field or get into the practice of getting great at that. Because if you try to find, what kind of a competition or a career or a challenge that is built around your unique talents, you have the best likely chance to succeed. But when you just throw yourself into the masses and you just try to be in an everyday all around thing, your uniqueness is not really going to shine. So I guess what I'm getting at, if that was very confusing, I guess what I'm getting at is what you should do is find out what exactly your strengths are, what it is you are good at, what it is that you like doing that you're good at, and focus 100% of your energy towards that. Because you already have the advantage by working, by figuring out what it is that what your strengths are built for, and then especially figuring out what your weaknesses are, and then working at that. And then when anyone dogs you or says bad things about you or tries to discourage you or says, hey, it's never going to happen, you're not going to do it, you're not good enough, you're not talented enough, you suck, all these things are going to come regardless. Doesn't mean they're right, but you are going to hear them. So you need to right now get that in your head that it does not matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter how accurate it sounds. It doesn't matter how true it sounds. If you are good and if you care about what it is you're doing and you're built for what it is you're doing, you're going to succeed, especially if that's all you want. You know, when we're young, we keep hearing, you can do anything you want as long as you set your mind to it. And after a while, you're like, yeah, that's nonsense. That's just something people say to build up your confidence and stuff. No, it's 100% true. But the key that nobody really tells you, or that you got to figure out, is that not only is it true, but you have to actually want it. You have to actually love it. It doesn't mean you can do anything if you put your mind to it, even if you hate the thing, because there's plenty of things that, listen, we're all good at stuff, but we're really good at the stuff that we really like. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good at taking the trash out. I'm not real good at it, though. You know? But as far as, like, trying to help people and motivate, I love doing that. So, am I perfect at it? No. Am I the best at it? Probably not. But does that mean that I can't get there, or that I have no shot? No, of course not, guys. If you love something bad enough, if you love it and you're good at it, there's a good chance you're going to be successful, regardless what anybody says about it. And so whenever you try to start something new, when you haven't been doing it for a while and you try to start something new, people are going to come out of the woodwork talking about, you're never going to do this. You can't do it. You're not good enough. What makes you think, why would you even start this? You're so far behind. You are going to go through the ringer. You're going to hear it all, probably from some of your closest friends or family. Your own mother might tell you, nah, it's not likely. I wouldn't waste my time on it. You have got to ignore your own mother when it comes to that, if that's the case. But you guys, if you like it enough, if you love something, you have got to eliminate the noise. Put in the earbuds, tune them out, praise and insults. Because when people start telling you how great you are, it's easy to let it go to your head and you get complacent, and then you just rest on your laurels, and then it's a wrap. Somebody else is hungry and they're going to pass you up. So never get complacent. Tune out the praise, tune out the negative. Positive and negative, tune them all out. Focus on you doing you, accomplishing what you want to accomplish. Ignore all the trolls and the haters, because they're going to come. In fact, I welcome them. The more haters I have, that means the more people that are paying attention. So look at it that way. I love you guys, and I thank you so much for listening. I got to go. I'll talk to you guys soon. If you want to get a hold of me, if you want to leave me a voice message through the Anchor app, you can do that. If you want to... shout out to all the Patreons too, by the way. I love you guys, and thank you so much for helping out and being a part of this, and the support that you give the channel and me personally. And I love you guys, and I thank you so much for everything you do. If you want to get a hold of me and leave me a voice message, you can do that through the Anchor app. If you want to get a hold of me on Instagram, it's Really Rich Podcast, or you can find me at AJamRich, my personal account, AJamRich, just like it sounds. Also on Twitter, you can get a hold of me, Really Rich Adam. On Snapchat and YouTube, it's Really Rich. And on LinkedIn, Adam Rich, founder and host of Really Rich Podcast. And last but not least, on TikTok, it's Adam Rich. No apostrophe, all one word, ITS, Adam Rich. I love you guys so much, and I thank you for listening again. And I will talk to you guys soon, all right? Peace! I'm out of here.